Good morning! We're in Shibuya, right by the Scramble Crossing. We're spending the day in Harajuku today, so I'm going to take you with me on the walk there. It's not actually very far, and we're going to see what we see along the way. And we're also going to stop off at a bakery for some breakfast. Don't expect anything too big or exciting in this video, but if you want to see the little things we spotted, interesting shop names, tips along the way, and what it's really like wandering around the streets of Tokyo, this is a video for you. Here we are, we'll start off by crossing the Scramble Crossing. You see over there is the Hachiko bus, really cute. The train's a really good way to get around Tokyo, but if you're only going one stop or maybe two stops, it is often walkable, and places are sometimes a lot closer than you realise, and if you walk you can often see some interesting things along the way. This is the street going away from the Scramble Crossing. The crossing is just down there, and up there we've got Tower Records. There's a lot of these big crosswalks in Shibuya that can actually take quite a long time to get across. All the traffic lights have these countdowns, so you know how long you've got to wait. It often feels like you're waiting for quite a long time, but at least you know how long there is to go. They're doing some construction here, and outside on the construction wall there's this decibel meter. It seems like they're just being really transparent and open with their data and showing that they are being responsible with the construction and not making too much noise, or maybe it's just so no one can complain about it. Up there is the Shibuya Disney store, which is decorated like a castle, and I always find it interesting how all the buildings in Japan look different even along the same streets, such different styles. You can also see Parco department store, which was renovated in the last couple of years, and up on the top there's a roof garden, a good place to go if you want a moment of calm or just somewhere to sit down away from all this craziness in Shibuya. Here's Tower Records. It's a massive music store. You can still get lots of CDs in Japan. It's actually not open yet. It opens at 11, which seems quite late. I always expect shops to be open at 9, but it's the case for quite a few places here. Even some of the bakeries, when we were looking for somewhere to have breakfast, they don't open until 11, which seemed quite unusual to me. There's also a special Hachiko statue outside. We're about to go under the Yamanote train line, and here's an example of how many vending machines there are on the streets of Japan. There's one right next to me here, there's some more just a few steps away before we even get to the bridge, and there's one across the road. And just the other side of the bridge there are more. You can always get a drink when you're in Japan, it's so convenient. We've just come across the Sequence Miyashita Park, which is a hotel, and it's where we're going to be staying next week on our last night in Tokyo before we fly back. The Sequence is quite a trendy modern style hotel. There'll be a room tour coming up my channel, so subscribe if you want to catch that. We're just going across here and doubling back on ourselves quickly to get to the bakery. There's some, I think they're plum blossoms brightening up the tree there. It's the end of February and we've seen a couple around. The plum blossoms come out before the cherry blossoms and are the first sign of spring. Over there is Louis Vuitton. At the moment they've got a collab with the artist Yayoi Kusama, who made the pumpkin in Shikoku, and they've got a big pumpkin on the side of their shop. That's quite something to put up for a temporary collab. I'm a big fan of Japanese bakeries. They're a great option for breakfast, lunch or snacks, with some really unusual options. At most bakeries, you pick up a tray and tongs, choose the item you want, and then take them to the till to pay. There's so many delicious things. Cream cheese sandwiches with sweet red bean paste or sweet potato, lasagna toast, melon pan, gorgon honey, rum raisin cream cheese, raspberry pain au chocolat, and look at these danishes. There's strawberry, caramel banana and chocolate. Lemon and white chocolate bagel for me to use. Yeah. Looks good. These bagels are so big. It's soft.
Mine is massive.
Everything looks so good. This is Shibuichi Bakery, tucked away in a back street, but really any bakery is good. Just search on Google Maps. I thought it'd be expensive because it looks quite fancy, but each individual item is between 180 and 420 yen. There's an area outside where you can sit, but we're going along to Yoyogi Park because it's really close. We're actually on Cat Street, which is a street in Harajuku, but it's a really long street. Hello cats. We're walking on Cat Street, which isn't the most direct way, but it's the scenic route. We thought we might see some more interesting things. Just spotted a mini torii gate on the side of this flower planter. I heard sometimes you get them around to stop people doing public urination or littering. I don't know if that would be anything here. I like the styling of this shop. Even the door handles are bunny shaped. What's going on at the Mystery Ranch? The feel of this street is so different to when we were in Shibuya just now. It's so much more relaxed and feels a bit more leafy. Looking backwards, this little street just looks really pretty. I like how they decorated their houses with so many plants. Cat Street is quite trendy, but it's also laid back and understated with a backstreet feel. It doesn't feel touristy at all. This is an interesting building that doesn't really fit in with all the other buildings here. It looks a lot more European. Castillo de Handa. It's closed at this time of day, but this is actually a souvenir and clothing shop. Look how nice this is. The staircase leading up, all the plants and fairy lights. That must be so pretty at night. What is that, do you think? Do you think it's a restaurant?
Yeah, I think so.
Maybe it's a fancy restaurant. Le Ciel Blanc, the white sky, is a wedding venue. No wonder it's decorated so elegantly. Look at the shape of this building. It's kind of wedge shaped and it's so thin at the end. It's a takoyaki stand. This one's open from 12 till 8 p.m. You think about the style of the opticians in your country. This is an optician and they've got a drum kit in the window just to decorate the shop, I think. Look at all these stickers. So that's the end of Cat Street and we've come out to this major road. Looks like we're in Omotesando. Oh wow, well, that's where we are. Kiddieland's here. That's a big, it's not really a toy shop, it's got character goods and cute character merch. This walk from Shibuya Crossing to Kiddieland is just under a mile. Without the stop at the bakery it would take 18 minutes. It's only one stop on the Yamanote line, or you could take the Hachiko bus. We're going to continue on past Harajuku Station to Yoyogi Park. And here we are at this major intersection. So right there is Tokyu Plaza, which is that famous shopping mall with all the mirrors at the entrance. There's a nice roof garden up there as well. Over there is La Forêt Shopping Mall, which has loads of good shops in the basement level if you like Lolita fashion. And just across there, they're building a new shopping mall, which is also going to be covered in mirrors, right opposite Tokyu Plaza, which also has loads of mirrors. It's going to be quite bright here when that's done. Along that way is the other end of Takashita Street. But right now, we're going up here to get to Yoyogi Park to have our breakfast. And here's the new Harajuku Station at the end of the road. It's actually not a very interesting building, but it doesn't look awful. I think everyone just dislikes this one because everyone loves the old one so much with its old style building. Standing here quite near Harajuku Station, you can see some of the buildings from Shinjuku up there, and that is also walkable. I think I made a video about that before. Here we are at the entrance to Yoyogi Park. There's always so much going on in this park, and it's looking really nice in the springtime already with these flower displays and these blossoms. Japan doesn't look very green at this time of year. It's the very start of March, but it's still a nice spot to sit. I enjoy hearing these guys playing guitar in the background. It's so peaceful. Here's a nice spot to sit and have our breakfast from the bakery. It's worth noting that if you're in Harajuku and want somewhere to sit and eat, Yoyogi Park is the best spot for that. Meiji Jingu next door is lovely for a walk, but it is a religious place, so it's not somewhere for a picnic. That's Yoyogi Park, which is just next door. I've got a lemon and white chocolate bagel. It's massive. I'm glad they've given us these things to eat them in. You often get these on burgers too, to catch all the sauce and the toppings that fall off. And I miss them so much when I'm back in England. And Phil's got
a lasagna toast.
Interesting.
Well, you've got to try it. They did ask if I wanted it warm. I said no because we were going to walk to go to the park, so it would have been cool anyway by the time we got here. But I think it's going to be delicious. It's basically lasagna, just without the pasta. It's bread, very nice, just like eating lasagna, a cold lasagna, but it's very nice, yeah. And the bread is toasted, but this top layer at least is really fluffy, so it's very nice.
And here's my bagel. Apart from being round, it's not much like you'd expect a bagel to be, but it is very nice. It's actually filled with lemon curd or lemon jam. It's got lumps of candied lemon in as well. And here's my half of the chocolate donut. Not that I really need anything else because that bagel was massive. It's not a soft donut, it's quite hard. That's not what I expected.
It was called a chocolate. crunch, or it had crunch in the name.
The whole thing is crunchy. So now breakfast is done, we're off to Harajuku. I hope you enjoyed the little walk with us and how you can see some interesting things along the way. And it is often walkable if it's only one metro stop. And sometimes if your feet aren't hurting too much, that can be an interesting way to go. My Harajuku vlog is for another day. I'll have videos coming up about what's changed there since before 2020 and an updated video about prices and how expensive things are if you're going clothes shopping. I hope you enjoyed this walk from Shibuya to Harajuku and all the little things we spotted along the way. You never know what you'll see on the streets, so sometimes it's nice to take a walk instead of the train if you're only going a short distance. I'll be back next Thursday with what you need to know if you're going to Japan in 2024, so I'll see you then.